The Truman Show tells the story of Truman Burbank, a man who has lived his whole life without knowing that he's being filmed all day, every day for a TV show. Everything around him, his home, job, friends, even his wife, is fake and controlled by the show's creator, Christoph. So Truman grows up in his fake town called Sea Haven, believing it's real. But over time, small mistakes begin to happen and he starts to feel something isn't right.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
This leads him to quietly search for the truth. Now everything changes when Truman meets Sylvia, a woman who tries to tell him that his world isn't real. So she's quickly removed from the show, but her words leave a strong impression.
Don't worry.
Even though they spoke only briefly, she sparks his doubt and helps him begin to question his life. So in today's lesson, we'll watch the scene where Sylvia calls into a live TV interview to confront Christoph, the creator of the show. She challenges him for controlling Truman's life and treating him like a prisoner. And we'll also look back at the moment when Sylvia and Truman first met, which has gotta be one of my favorite Jim Carrey moments ever. Now let's get into it and watch the first part of the clip.
Konnichiwa. You take Japanese?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Lauren, right? It's on there.
Lauren, right.
I'm Truman Burbank.
Yeah, I know. You know, Truman, I'm not allowed to talk to you.
Really? Yeah, well, I can understand it. I'm a pretty dangerous character.
I'm sorry, it's not up to me.
Girls gotta be careful. You have a boyfriend, right?
No, it's
Of course.
not that.
Was it Meryl, the girl that was with me? No, we're not. We're not, we're friends.
It's nothing like that.
It's how I look. Not your type.
No.
I like your pen. I was wondering that myself. Would you want to maybe possibly sometime go out for some pizza or something? Like Friday? Saturday? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? We have finals tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. If we don't go now, it won't happen. Do you understand? So what do you want to do?
She's speaking urgently like this because she knows the show is watching and will try to stop her. She's not supposed to talk to Truman freely or spend time with him. She's already breaking the rules. Now, there were a couple interesting phrases they used there. Sylvia, who presented herself as Lauren here, said that she couldn't talk to Truman because it wasn't up to her.
I'm sorry, it's not up to me.
If a decision is not up to you, you don't have control over it. You are not the one who can make that decision. You also often hear this in the positive form.
If you want to go, you can go.
I thought you wanted to get to know me.
I do, but I don't want to force you to be here. It's up to you.
Natives also use the expression your call, meaning the same thing.
This weekend you have two parents, me and Mother Nature.
And I am Mother Nature's brother, Brother Nature. But you can call me Andy or Brother Nature. Your call.
Now, another nice expression used in this scene by Truman was not your type.
It's how I look. Not your type.
By your type, he means the kind of person she usually likes and dates. He thinks Lauren might not be interested in him romantically. Anyway, so after they leave the library together, Lauren takes Truman to the beach and tries to tell him the truth, that his whole world is fake and everything around him is being controlled. But before she can explain much, a car pulls up and a man claiming to be her father drags her away, saying she's insane.
Hi, Christoph. I'd just like to say one thing. You're a liar and a manipulator, and what you've done to Truman is sick.
Well, we remember this voice, don't we? How could we forget?
Let's go to another call. What do we
No,
have?
no, it's fine. It's fine, Mike. I love to reminisce with former members of the cast. Sylvia, as you announced so melodramatically to the world, you think because you batted your eyes at Truman once, flirted with him, stole a few minutes of airtime with him to thrust yourself and your politics into the limelight, that you know him? That you know what's right for him? You really think you're in a position to judge him?
What right do you have to take a baby and turn his life into some kind of mockery? Don't you ever feel guilty?
Alright, we'll now break down the key vocabulary we just saw. Our goal today is that by the end of the video, you'll be able to watch the entire scene again without any subtitles and understand everything.
Hi, Christoph. I'd just like to say one thing. You're a liar and a manipulator, and what you've done to Truman is sick.
Well,
a manipulator is someone who controls or influences others in a clever but unfair way. Like a puppet master pulling strings behind the scenes to make people do what they want, without them realizing it. So Sylvia says that Christoph's actions are sick, but that doesn't mean he's physically ill. Here, sick means morally wrong or disturbing. Like, for example, when someone enjoys watching others suffer. It's a strong, informal way to express disgust at someone's behavior. You could also say it's messed up. Check out this example.
Friendship rankings. What's that?
It's not what it sounds like. It's simply a way for me to figure out which one of you is the best.
That's messed up. Yeah, that is really lame, and I'm leaving.
So moving on with the clip, we hear Christoph say this.
I love to reminisce with former members of the cast.
To reminisce means to think about nice memories from the past. Like flipping through an old photo album and saying, remember when we went to the beach? But in the scene, notice Christoph's sarcastic tone. He's being ironic because this clearly isn't a pleasant memory for him. And by the way, he refers to Sylvia as a former member of the cast. Former means previous, like a former president of a country or an ex-girlfriend or a boyfriend. And the word cast refers to all the actors in a movie, TV show, or play. In The Truman Show, everyone except Truman is an actor playing a role.
Sylvia, as you announced so melodramatically to the world.
Melodramatic means overly dramatic and exaggerated, like someone being theatrical or making something seem more dramatic than it really is. Christoph is saying that Sylvia acted like this in the show just to get everyone's attention. Now, what do you think this expression means?
You think because you batted your eyes at Truman once?
To give someone a quick look? To blink at someone in a cute way? To stare at someone without blinking? To bat your eyes at someone means to flutter your eyelashes, usually with the intention of flirting, like this. This expression is often used to suggest that someone is using their charm to manipulate or get attention.
Flirted with him, stole a few minutes of airtime with him to thrust yourself and your politics into the limelight.
Alright, here we have some interesting phrases to analyze. First of all, airtime refers to the amount of time someone is broadcast on television or radio. Christoph is accusing Sylvia of stealing precious moments on the show. Now let's see, he says she thrust herself and her politics into the limelight. Thrust, as a verb, means to push something forward forcefully and suddenly. So if you thrust yourself into the limelight, you're forcefully pushing yourself into public attention. Not waiting to be invited or asked, but aggressively inserting yourself into the spotlight to get attention. Finally, he also said, you and your politics. What does that mean? In The Truman Show, Sylvia represents the activist protester voice. She believes what's happening to Truman is morally wrong and wants to expose the truth. But Christoph is saying she's not genuinely concerned about Truman as a person. She just wants to use his situation to promote her own political agenda about media ethics, exploitation, reality TV, etc. Is that true though? I mean, I personally think the moment when Sylvia and Truman meet for the first time is one of the most powerful and sincere scenes of love at first sight I've ever seen. What makes it even more special is that she wasn't supposed to get his attention. She was just a background character. And Truman definitely wasn't supposed to go after her. So when he does, it catches her completely off guard. Alright, great job with the lesson so far. Now let's take a brief moment to review some expressions that we've seen in this first clip and check whether or not you've learned them. What is another way that you can say being overly dramatic and exaggerated? For example, she got a paper cut and acted like it was a broken arm. It was a little So how did you do? Did you remember it? Alright, let's try another expression. When you start thinking about the good old days, like revisiting those memories, what's the verb that we can use to refer to that action? For example, my grandfather always about his days in the army. Did you remember it right? Yes? Sort of? Or no? Well, either way, you're doing something incredibly important right now. That is reviewing what you have just learned. If you want to internalize these words so they are there for you the moment you need them in a real conversation in English, then quick reviews like this are key. And that's exactly why we created our own app, so you can keep practicing vocabulary with flashcards, just like the ones you just used. In the app, every lesson, like this one, comes with a deck of flashcards of all the most useful expressions. And the best part is that the app is pretty smart. It automatically sets up the practice sessions for you so that you only need 10 minutes a day to build the kind of vocabulary that you need when you speak. Can you imagine speaking this naturally in your next real-life conversation in English? Well, you can get started right now. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below that'll take you directly to this lesson with the Truman Show on the app. So just click and I'll see you inside. Alright, now let's go back to the scene with Christoph and the phone call and see what he says in the second part.
What right do you have to take a baby and turn his life into some kind of mockery? Don't you ever feel guilty?
I have given Truman the chance to lead a normal life. The world, the place you live in, is the sick place. Sea Haven is the way the world should be.
He's not a performer, he's a prisoner. Look at him, look at what you've done to him.
He could leave at any time. If his was more than just a vague ambition, if he was absolutely determined to discover the truth, there's no way we could prevent him. I think what distresses you, really, caller, is that ultimately Truman prefers his cell, as you call it.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. You're so wrong, and he'll prove you wrong.
What right do you have to take a baby and turn his life into some kind of mockery?
A mockery is making a joke out of something that should be taken seriously. Sylvia is saying that Christoph has turned Truman's real life into something fake and ridiculous.
I have given Truman the chance to lead a normal life.
The verb lead with life is a common collocation meaning to experience life in a particular way. We use lead because it suggests actively directing or guiding your life. For example, she leads a quiet life in the countryside. He's always led a very active life, playing sports and traveling. The irony in Christoph's statement, though, is that Truman can't actually lead his life at all. Every aspect is controlled and scripted by others.
He's not a performer, he's a prisoner.
Interesting case of connected speech here. Did you notice how Sylvia linked those words together? He's not a performer, he's a prisoner. Basically, the T from not turns into a flap T as it connects to a performer, not a performer. Then the Z sound from he's links to a prisoner, so we hear he's a prisoner.
He's not a performer, he's a prisoner. He's not a performer, he's a prisoner.
Natives always link, reduce, and morph words like this in their speech. That's what we call connected speech, and I would say learning it is just as important as learning vocabulary if you want to be able to speak more naturally and understand fast speakers too.
Look at him, look at what you've done to him.
He could leave at any time. If his was more than just a vague ambition, if he was absolutely determined to discover the truth, there's no way we could prevent him.
A vague ambition is a weak, unclear desire, and something vague is not specific or definite. Christoph is suggesting that Truman's desire to leave or discover the truth isn't strong enough.
I think what distresses you.
To be distressed means to be upset or worried about something. It's a more formal way of saying it. Now notice how Christoph calls Sylvia caller instead of using her name.
Caller, is that ultimately Truman prefers his cell, as you call it.
Oh, that's where you're wrong.
He did it to make her seem less important, like just another random person on the phone, and talk down to her. And when he refers to Truman's cell, he's using Sylvia's own metaphor against her. A cell usually means a prison cell, but here it refers to Truman's artificial world that traps him like a prisoner. Alright, now get ready for the most important step of the lesson, the test. We're gonna watch the entire scene again without any subtitles, and I'm gonna ask you some quiz questions to see how well you've understood everything.
Hi, Christoph. I'd just like to say one thing. You're a liar and a manipulator, and what you've done to Truman is sick.
Well,
if something is described as sick, what does it mean? Strange or different from normal? Morally wrong or upsetting? Weak and not very effective?
we remember this voice, don't we? How could we forget?
Let's go to another call. What do we
No,
have?
no, it's fine. It's fine, Mike. I love to reminisce with former members of the cast. Sylvia, as you announced so melodramatically to the world, you think because you batted your eyes at Truman once?
What's the expression that Christoph uses here? To bat your eyes at Truman.
You think because you batted your eyes at Truman once, flirted with him, stole a few minutes of airtime with him to thrust yourself and your politics into the limelight, that you know him? That you know what's right for him? You really think you're in a position to judge him?
What right do you have to take a baby and turn his life into some kind of mockery? Don't you ever feel guilty?
I have given Truman the chance to lead a normal life. The world, the place you live in, is the sick place. Sea Haven is the way the world should be.
He's not a performer. He's a prisoner. Look at him. Look at what you've done to him.
He could leave at any time, if his was more than just a vague ambition.
What does it mean if someone has only a vague ambition? They say they want something but don't clearly plan for it. Want to succeed but have chosen a difficult path. Have a goal but keep it secret from others.
If he was absolutely determined to discover the truth, there's no way we could prevent him. I think what distresses you, really, caller, is that ultimately Truman prefers his cell, as you call it.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. You're so wrong. And he'll prove you wrong.
Ah yeah, great job. Now if you're new to this channel, you should know that every single week we make new lessons just like this one with your favorite movies and TV series to help you understand fast-speaking natives without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles. So if that sounds like something that you want to be able to do, just hit the subscribe button and the bell down below so you don't miss any of our new lessons. And now remember to go and practice everything that you learned today on the Real Life app. The link is in the description below so you can click on that and start your vocabulary practice right away.
Oh my God. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, Mom.
Oh, what the hell were you thinking?
What happened?
Well, it's not a big deal, okay? There was a party and people were drinking, so the police showed up and everybody ran, so I did too. And I started climbing down this fire escape, and then I heard a cop yell to put your hands up, so I did, and I fell onto him.
You could have been killed. Haley,